Hi everybody, and welcome to Pomeroy Art Academy's Breakfast Club, and I'm going to show you some tips on drag, overlap, and follow through. So let's get started. So to illustrate some drag and overlap, I am going to use the back of a woman's head and her ponytail. Have the head roughed out. And by the way, we've got a good lesson on the basics of drag and overlap on lesson number 4 at Pomeroy Art Academy, part of our Introduction to Animation course. So that's lesson 4. Take a look at it. It's got some good tips on drag and overlap. So let's see that the ponytail would be attached right about there at the upper part of the head, hanging down. Gathered right there. I'll just have like a simple hairband. We're just going to use the ponytail as our extension to show drag and overlap. Now I'll call this drawing 1, if the back of the character turns her head to the left, I'm going to map out something real rough. I'm going to say there's the eye line right there. There's the forehead. Let's see, there would be an ear right about there. Back side of the cranium. See an eyelash. Underside of the jaw. Not much movement on any other part of the body, just the neck and the head. So back here is where that attachment of the ponytail is. The ponytail, the head is turning counterclockwise. The back side of the ponytail, I want to do a quick little thing here for the back of the hair. This will be drawing number 3. The head is moving counterclockwise and swinging the back of this ponytail in that counterclockwise direction. The end of the hair is going to drag. Because the inertia that's happening here, pulling this hair, there's going to be an opposing action. Where it's attached is going to go this way. And in response, because of the energy that's happening with that pull, the end of the hair is going to swing out in the opposite direction. So we have this opposing action that happens. So as that hair is swinging, we have this opposing action. The attached hair part is going to go clockwise following the head. But the dangling end part is going to go in the opposite direction. Take a little piece of ribbon sometime and wave it back and forth. You'll see the same type of action. Now, the head is going to, I'm going to do a trace back here. I want the head to come back in the opposite direction. I will here's real quick. We'll trace back the underside of the jaw, neckline, back of the hair, neck, shoulder, let's see. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to swing the head, back in the opposite direction. It's just, she's looking in that direction and the hair is swinging in opposition the nice part is you get all this lovely overlapping action and fluidity. Now the hair, her ponytail is still attached right there, so that will follow her head. Come back around. But the end of her ponytail is lagging behind. It's this delayed action. So her head is returned to her original position, and yet the hair up here at the top is attached to the back of the skull. It remains intact. But as we get further out, this head is returning this way, clockwise, but now the end is trailing behind counterclockwise. So we have this opposing action once again. And this will continue to happen until it settles. Now, the head is stopped. We'll go to drawing number 7 and watch what happens. So we have drag, overlap, and then follow through. So drawing number 7 will be just basically this mass of hair, this ponytail, in its follow through, and then settle. Now, this portion right here is moving but trailing behind the attached portion. It's still a little late, but it's now following through with the action. Well, this is the last part. So because of that, and that's where it's attached to the back of the head, we'll see a reversal happen. We go from that to this. A nice reversal. There's the back of the head, there's the ears. This head is now stationary. So the hair, let me go like this, because this is coming out towards us. So this portion is coming this way. This is standstill, and this is continuing to drag. So we have opposing action once again. Then we get into drawing 9. We're fixed right up here. This portion is starting to finally settle to a stop. So this upper portion is starting to come back this way, and it'll stop. It's swayed back and forth, and now it's settling down. The lower part right here is continuing to swing a little bit in the opposite direction, but it's eventually, in the next drawing, it's going to swing and settle with the upper part. So almost like in 3 stages, the upper part, the middle part, and the lower part. The lower part being the last to settle. So this middle part is starting to move to settle in this direction, and this end here is dragging, but it is now moving in the opposite direction. Now in drawing 10, the upper part is slowly settling. I'm going to compare with I want to go to my first drawing, yeah. I want to make sure my volumes are correct. There's my ponytail. So this portion right here, this middle section, this has settled. This is coming to a settling. It's still moving slightly in this direction, while the tip, the bottom part, is still dragging behind and moving in the opposite direction. There's also an interesting thing with hair too, as it's moving. It goes from just hanging straight as a thin piece of hair to where as it's in movement, it will open up. So we get this nice expansion and contraction thing that happens. So where it's like this, it's in a tight body of hair. As it's moving, it opens up and fans out in all directions. But the movement is slow enough here where we don't get that much activity in it. So what's happening now is there's the attachment of our ponytail. The top has settled. The middle part is starting to settle. To make sure I've got the correct, let's see, my first drawing here. Yeah, it's about right about there. So this whole middle section is slowly moving this away. This part is still moving around that away. What's going to happen in the next drawing? Let's see, this is drawing, this should have been drawing 11. This should be a drawing 13. What happens in 15 is it's slowly settling all of this part has pretty much now settled. It's finished moving this way and it's slowly settling to a stop here. And then the last part to settle, the caboose of the ponytail, is right here. And once that reaches a certain point, it'll settle and come to a stop. And you have this lovely little symphony of movement that happens, which is really pretty to watch. Let's see if I can roll this. Comes to a stop. I'll finish this drawing and then shoot this so we can take a look at it. But that gives you a good idea of some nice drag, follow through, and overlap.